appreciate that. Thank you, Teta Mukuru, for standing in for me. So our next poet, before we kick on to another different segment of the performances today, which is music. So I'd like to just ask the musicians who are performing tonight, Veya and company, to just be prepared and on standby to come on stage very soon. Our next person on stage is called Claudia. I would like us to give Claudia a very warm welcome, and welcome back to Spoken Word Rwanda.
Hello everyone, I should just introduce me. My name is Claudia. I've always been concerned by the issue of mental illness, and during my 4th year of medical school in Tanzania, I was inspired to create this piece of writing by one particular patient I met on the last day of my psychiatry rotation, and I called it The Forgotten. It was a sunny Monday morning when I met this lady in her late teens. She was sitting on the floor crying, her father trying his best to console her. I had been assigned to her for my final psychiatry exam, so I went on to introduce myself and started asking the usual questions. Her father was very cooperative and tried his best to answer my questions, despite being interrupted by her daughter several times. She was mad at him, claiming to hate him, and that dead people wanted to harm her. She didn't want to be there. She wanted to be with her 3-month-old baby that she hadn't seen in so long. In spite of all the crying and cursing and my failed attempt to calm her, I managed to finish my interview. Paranoid schizophrenia it was. And that was probably the last time I would see her. But she stayed in my mind for a long time. I couldn't shake off the feeling of sadness I felt while listening to her story. We laugh at them. We're afraid of them. They're filthy and crazy. They're not ours anymore. They're not humans anymore. So we forget them. Everyone does. In a country like Tanzania, where I did my vet school, with more than 44 million people, there are hardly more than a dozen qualified psychiatrists. I went around asking my fellow medical students, and I think only 1 or 2 of them were genuinely interested in this field. It is very heart-wrenching to see the conditions in which these people live. Whether it's in the unfunded hospitals they stay in for a week, or the overwhelmed families they come from, or worse, the streets to which they are lost. This, of course, is definitely worse in developing countries. I always tell myself that we probably have so many basic needs we still have to satisfy, that mental illness and the care it requires is almost a luxury that we are yet to afford. It might sound justified to spend a little more money feeding people than figuring out what is wrong with their minds. But were we to realize the magnitude of this problem and how much it affects many of us, we would find better ways to make sure both problems are tackled. I'm not a politician, and someone will probably point out the naivety of my statements, but I still believe that something can be done. That little number of students interested in psychiatry wasn't really about how boring the field is. It was more about the stereotypes attached to mental illness and the feeling of abandonment that doctors, nurses, families, and especially patients constantly have. There are no funds. We don't train enough doctors. Most people will live and die with an undiagnosed mental illness that was overlooked or purposely ignored. Your drug-addicted cousin will spend more time in a prison cell than a rehab center. How many of those do we have anyway? Your mother will suffer from depression all her life, and no one will ever care to help her. She's probably just sad. She'll feel better tomorrow. Your brother suffers from chronic anxiety and is just labeled shy when he can't handle talking in a large group of people. And it goes on. I probably need to make a few appointments with someone that would listen and help me figure myself out. I probably wouldn't afford it. This is more about pointing out a problem. something we all know is wrong, but that we rarely acknowledge. People have physical wounds and scars, but the worst are the ones we can't see. And they go on killing us slowly, all sucked up in the rug of being strong. So what do we do now? You would expect someone who just spent all this time lamenting about how bad mental illness is overlooked to volunteer to specialize in this field. But as everyone else, I am afraid. I won't receive all the financial, social, and political support I need. I'm probably being a self-centered coward. But I think the best way to start is to raise awareness about this problem, to recognize that it's there and that something needs to be done. Thank you.